How are we running?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's dark, isn't it? This road. Okay, so this is a bumper seasonal driving home review. And we're going to review, first of all, Bohemian Rhapsody, which we saw last week. And I loved it. I remember growing up through the period of time most of that film takes place, because it kind of kicks in the year before I was born and goes up until I was about 14. And yeah, it was just interesting seeing how that plays out. I think it's a shame they kind of didn't do more with Kenny Everett, because the guy playing him kind of nailed it. But yeah, it was kind of, I just found it really interesting seeing their story. I know there's been some critiques that it's chronologically not quite how it all went and how it all happened. But you can kind of, you get a real feel for Freddie. And the funny thing was initially I thought the guy kind of didn't, he kind of got the mannerisms but didn't look like him, because his eyes were quite rounded. The guy's got quite sort of bulbous eyes. Freddie didn't. But by the end, I'd kind of forgotten he wasn't. And I thought the Brian May guy was awesome. What were you thinking of it?
I thought it was good. I'm too young to be like, oh yeah, that was so Queen, or so Freddie.
Yeah, that's why. That.
I learned a lot now.
Oh, I've just caught myself on the thing, and the fact that not all my eye makeup from Panto this afternoon has washed off seems to show up quite bad on the video. I look like I've still got all my eyeshadow on. So yeah, so Bohemian Rhapsody was, I think it's a fun film. You do get that flavour of what Queen were about, who they were. I think you get a real feeling for Freddie Mercury's life and what his journey was up to a point. And then they kind of don't do the last 6 years. Well, the one thing that really struck me though was, you're trying to light us from below, was I feel like Queen were big for ages, and it was actually only 16 years from their first hit until when Freddie passed away. So they were only actually at a 16-year lifespan as a band. But because it was such an enormous part of my childhood, my mum was a big Queen fan. She kind of married her second husband because he reminded her of Freddie Mercury a bit. Which, now I say that out loud, does sound a bit weird. But it was an enormous part of my life. I can still very clearly remember the big gig they did in Nebworth in, I think it was 84 or 86. It was one either side of Live Aid anyway, and the fact that I really would love to have gone but couldn't, because I was on a £6 a week paper round. There was no way I was getting a ticket. But me and my best friend, like, look after his younger sister while like his older brother and his parents and a whole gang of them went off in a minibus to the gig that we would love to have gone to, having never been to a rock concert before. So I've got a lot of strong emotive memories about Queen. So to kind of see their story and kind of plot my own story throughout it was really quite fascinating. As James said, it was different for him because Freddie Mercury had been dead 6 years by the time you were born. So yours is more kind of, I suppose, how I would look at like Elvis or the Beatles.
I don't know, because I don't look at Elvis or the Beatles the same I do look at Queen.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, because obviously they're in your past, so then that would be how I look at someone from like the 30s or 40s, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, so generally Bohemian Rhapsody, thoroughly enjoyed it. If nothing else, it made me go out and sort of add a ton of Queen songs to my Google library. So yeah, big thumbs up from me. And then on Christmas Eve we saw Mary Poppins Returns, and I loved it. I've seen a lot of reviews that are quite negative and say, oh, the songs are instantly forgettable. Well, I'm still singing them a week on. Can you imagine that?
I didn't like.
Huh?
I didn't like.
But you've not seen actual Mary Poppins, right?
No, but I don't like any musicals.
No.
I haven't seen the
Probably wasn't the film for you to go and see then. I thought it perfectly captured the charm. It's set with Mary Poppins returning to the Banks children now they have children, kind of.
So going to the Banks' parents.
Well, no, basically, Jane and Michael Banks are now grown up. Michael has children,
and now they're
Jane
parents.
doesn't. Yeah, she does. She's just the auntie, old spinster. So, and it's a little story about they're going to lose the family home. Julie Walters is marvellous in it, as she is in everything she does, taking over the role of the housekeeper. I just thought the whole thing was truly magical. I think it's completely captured the flavour of the original. My only criticism, and it's a small one, is Emily Blunt, I think, could have used her natural voice rather than trying to do an affectation of how she thinks Julie Andrews talks. Because actually, she sounded far more clippy and BBC than Julie Andrews ever did. I think if she'd just used her own neutral accent that I've heard her Devil Wears Prada voice, right, would have been perfect. That's all she needed. But the imagery's there, the homages are there. It kind of follows a bit of a beat and a pattern, so it does kind of tie into the first one. It definitely goes along the same rough beat. Okay, so if you look at the way some people criticise The Force Awakens for being a bit of a retread of actual original Star Wars, you could say the same thing about Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns, but it looks gorgeous. I thought visually it was fantastic.
I can't compare it.
No, just on its own. Not compare. I'm just saying it was actually gorgeous to watch.
If I didn't think the film was good, I wouldn't stay there.
Yeah, there you are. So James stayed in his seat, which is apparently the biggest compliment you can get. So yes, again, love it. Catch it while it's in cinemas. It is worth it. Take the kids. Actually, do you know what I got excited about?
This is going to be a hell to list on YouTube.
Yeah.
Review of blah 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 blah.
That'd be fine. I'll just call it like a multi-review or something. And then we've just been to, finally, way after everybody else, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, which I really enjoyed. I don't read a lot of Spider-Man. I'm obviously very familiar with Peter Parker because of the movies and because of the iconic cartoon show. Oh, there's a police car coming up behind us.
I know Mary Jane very well.
What, the song by Alanis Morissette?
No, Mary Jane Watson.
Right, yeah.
Mary Jane's a euphemism.
Oh, is it? Moving on, because I don't know. Yeah, and it's good. It's a very different style of animation because it kind of looks like a comic book brought to life in a way that you haven't really seen done before. The only thing is because they've given it this kind of almost pop art, actually like it's in print texture to certain backgrounds or scenes or bits and pieces.
Like the Superwoman dot art.
Yeah, absolutely. I found... Yes, yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing I'm thinking. I knew where you were at.
Yeah, but they didn't.
They might.
They.
I found it was almost like at times there was a point where I almost walked out of the cinema to say, have you put the 3D version on by mistake? Should you have given us all glasses? But I don't think it was. I think that is just the style of it.
Did you not notice that at the start then when they were going for that? When it was coming in, they were blurring it specifically.
Yeah, but it gave me. I mean, my eyes are killing me. Absolutely bloody killing me.
If you look too close at a TV, the normal lines on a TV.
Yeah. And they kind of did it to accentuate stuff. So sometimes the foreground person and the background scenery would be like it, but the character talking in the middle wouldn't. That kind of stuff.
I'm too stuck on the foreground to know.
Yeah. I just found it hard to watch, which is a shame because I was loving the film. I think it's a geek out on about 70 different levels. I've got friends who will probably have spotted 100 more references than I.
Did you hear? You didn't laugh at Infinity. Did you hear that? She was going to say to Infinity and Beyond, but she stopped.
Yeah, no, I did hear that. Yeah.
I didn't laugh at it, so
No, I didn't laugh, but I did hear it. There's, yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with Miles Morales. Oh, I'm also yawning, sorry. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Peter Parker. The rest of them I don't know too much about, apart from Lego Marvel games, if I'm honest. But you don't need to. They explain it all for you beautifully. There's some lovely nods at the start to the Sam Raimi trilogy, which had me actually laughing out loud. I thought was awesomely well done.
Lolling.
Yeah, lolling. Look at me lolling, little kids. And it's just a great fun film. You don't need to be an uber nerd. You don't need to be a massive Marvel. Uber. You're not a taxi. An enormous Marvel or even Spider-Man geek. I think you can go along with just the vaguest of basic knowledges, having seen a film or two, not even that, if you even one, and you would still enjoy the story. It's really nice, you know, and the voice work is actually really impressive. There's some really, really good vocal performances there that really bring the characters to life. So yeah, I'm not raving about it in quite the same way all the geeks I know are, who are talking about it like it's the best film they've ever seen. Wouldn't go that far. It's probably, you know, if you're going to class it as a Marvel film, even though technically it's a Sony, you know, I'd put it in my top 10 of all the sort of films they've done. Maybe even top 6 or 7.
Despite the headache.
Yeah, that was, you know, that was just an aesthetic thing. So yeah, so really, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. But I'm just now going to ask James to review the pantomime I'm in, because he came and saw it last week.
Well, he keeps telling people he's the best part. He's by far not the best part.
Who have I told that to?
So me, my mum.
Oh, yeah.
Need I go on?
I'm being serious.
It goes completely over his head. He's good, but when there's a character who's meant to play dumb and play
Greg's definitely better than me.
Extremely stupid, obviously that character, given the laughs, is going to be better. It was good. Besides, when you're then sat with the cast member afterwards, them saying, "Oh, we missed this wasn't right, this happened," and I'm like, "But it was good. What no more?"
Well, the point is if things have gone wrong in a play and you've not noticed, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Then that's, you know. So, was it fun? Did you have fun?
Yes, it was fun. I had a good
Did
time.
you like the costumes and things? Because the ladies that did the costumes worked very hard. Did you like the set?
Well, at first I told you what I thought about the ship, didn't I?
I can't remember.
So he comes out with, well, he doesn't come out with a big curtain. The curtain comes out and it's got a big ship painted on it. And now I know there's a ship in the play, and I think, oh my god, are they just going to stand in front of this painted curtain now and pretend to be sailing on a boat? But no, you know, a few minutes in, you know, they shut the main curtains, they open them back up, and there's a big ship there, and
it turns. It turns and fires cannons out into the audience.
Which he sees a lot more exciting than me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sat in it when it turns, so I've never seen what it looks like from an audience perspective.
That woman that I said was my teacher,
yeah,
she was quite outraged because they nearly hit her in the face quite a few times, and she was like, the nerve. Her face was like, excuse me?
Oh, they're balls. Get a grip, love, Jesus. Tomorrow is our last performance of Sinbad the Sailor at the Savoy Theatre in Tonneau Reval. It is almost sold out, and chances are people watching this video aren't near enough to come anyway. But it's been a lot of fun. I have loved every minute. I'm going to miss everybody so much. Everybody who's come has been very complimentary and said that it's a really cracking show, so that's really lovely.
If everyone said it.
Yeah. It's gone very dark.
And they're all your friends.
Yeah. Not just my friends.
You think it's true?
Yeah, I do think it's true. Thank you very much. I know I'm awesome.
You knew where I was getting at.
Yeah. Cheeky cunt. Right, turn it off.
Bye.